It's a really good place to be. There's a lot of friendly people, and I mean, it's always windy here, but it's beautiful. It's like nature except extra beautiful. A really good place for autism spectrum. Autism spectrum, your brain works differently. It's kind of rare. I'm like the most popular person just because I'm pretty much the only person in my class who has this amazing thing. It just feels like, wow, I have such a rare condition, and it's just an amazing thing to have.
My son, he was diagnosed with autism. His social skills, I found, is a lot better since we moved down here. I guess it's just an awesome place for kids with autism.
The town of Channel Basques seems to have really adopted autism spectrum disorder and are out there to do anything that they can to make this to be a friendlier place.
You know, our town is wonderful. They are very interested in helping wherever they can, so it's quite special. I realize that it's quite special.
I've gone to the town several times and said, can we, are we able to? Their response is never, well, we can't do this because. It's always, well, let's find a way to do it. It's been absolutely amazing.
We do have some high statistics of autism in our town. So if we have it, we gotta help and we gotta support it. There is no question if we would support it, is what can we do?
I'm a retired special education teacher. A family who I didn't really know, he was a pharmacist in town, but he called to ask me if I would work with his child who had autism. I said yes, and he said, well, like, do you want to know the pay? And I said, well, no. I said, like, I can't walk past your house 2 or 3 times a day and I know you got a child in there who needs help. The little boy's mom and myself, we started Autism Involves Me, the AIM group. We do a lot of one-on-one training. Say if we're going to go to a local store, I go ahead of time and I explain to them what the child is like. I explain what I'm going to do, what my goal is. If I need them to be asking the child questions, I'll take cue cards for them. If we're going to a restaurant, so like we have one child who we wanted to teach them how to order from a menu. So we worked on that bit by bit. It doesn't happen overnight. I mean, starting after going into a restaurant, the child just walked in and walked out. Just got them through the door. Then you got them to be able to sit at a booth. Now, the child can go in now and order his food, no problem. And he goes up, if they don't bring him his ketchup bottle, he'll go up to the front desk and ask for it. What goes with your chicken McNuggets?
French fries or chicken McNuggets or ketchup.
You know, so this was the child that we began by just taking him to the door. The children are like celebrities here in town. The families, they don't have that threatened feeling, and the children don't get bullied. We have very little bullying. I think because of the type of town that we have, we're just nice Newfoundlanders.
My name is Kathy Lomond, and I have lived in Channel Basques all of my life, and I have owned and operated Hotel Basques for the last 18 years. I was approached by some of the members of our local organization, AIM. Their concerns was the difficulty of traveling with a child that had the autism spectrum disorder. We adapted some of our rooms so that everything was secured in the room, and we had child lock resistance on the drawers. They don't like abrupt changes, like taking them out of their bedroom and putting them in another strange bedroom. So we have a slideshow that we can send to the parent and show them, this is what the hotel looks like, this is the front entrance, this is the hallway going down to the restaurant, this is the bedroom. And Newfoundland and Labrador Autism Society did come in and do sensitivity training with all of my frontline workers, the front desk clerks and the servers in the dining room.
We have a picture menu now. We have to have the same place that's on the menu so they can identify with it. If we need to put them in the private room and we have one available, we certainly will. But I mean, if we can go in and we know that your child is autistic, we can adapt to your needs in any way.
Oh my God, the fries are amazing. It's like my top 5 best fries, and I had a lot of fries in my whole entire life. When I mean I had a lot of fries, I mean I had a lot of fries, and fries are my favorite meal in general. Whenever my mom says restaurant and we're going to a restaurant, I'm just like, woo, we're going to a restaurant, yes. Yes, finally. It's just amazing to have restaurants in life.
Joan told me that one of the things that's so nice to have is a calming sensory room. We had an unutilized staff exercise room. I showed her the room and she said, we can make it work.
The first time that Isaac went into the sensory room, he was highly agitated. As he spent some time in the room, you could see his curiosity, you know, kind of overpowering that anxiety. And then he went to the crow's nest. When he got in there, you could see the anxiety just kind of flow out of him, and he completely changed his behavior. And all of a sudden he started to open up. He started to talk about an experience at school that he had never talked about before. It was a pretty powerful moment. I found it to be very powerful.
The sensory room, I just love it. It has this like chill thing, and you go in it, it just feels like you're a cocoon that's just squeezing in and turning into a butterfly.
I wanted Isaac to participate in our summer sports program. He has sensory issues, and they change from time to time. Sometimes he's sensitive to loud noises, and other times it doesn't seem to bother him. His peers were attending, and he really wanted to go. So I met with them and told them a little bit about Isaac. Most of them were familiar with him because it's a small town. And they said, yeah, I think we can make this work. It was hugely beneficial for us as a family and for his social development.
We asked the parents, would they come in and talk with our counsellors on an individual basis? Because every single child with autism is different. Having our counsellors recognize that the children having a meltdown wasn't a behaviour issue. They had no control over it. They know to go to Kara and say, I need a break.
Isaac does pretty well on his own, but when he does need me, I have this walkie-talkie so they can call me, and I'll just come out and I'll sit with them for a little bit. We'll go somewhere quiet. It's important for all kids really to get out there and get involved, but it's important for kids with autism because they're just like normal kids and they shouldn't have to be excluded from things.
Joan spoke with us about some sort of fitness activities for the kids. So the town of Port aux Basques agreed to allow them to use the back of our gym. The equipment could be used by the children who are on the spectrum, but also by our preschool age children. Some of the equipment is sensory equipment. We have a squeeze machine, 2 big tubes, and the kids can actually roll through it. For some of them, that's a real calming sensation. It's been an incredible partnership right from the get-go. Drowning prevention is part of what I do. Children on the autism spectrum are drawn to water. And a lot of them do not learn to swim because to come to regular swimming lessons can get very overwhelming. To do the private lesson, we identified 3 instructors who have the ability to take their cues from the kids, which is what they had to do.
We get to know the kids and we get to know what they can do, and then the next lesson is just trying to get further than they already were last time. Once you get to know them and figure out what works with them, it's not that difficult to teach them.
Every child should have the right to play. I'm a grandma, and the thought of either one of my granddaughters being eliminated or excluded from activities because of something they have no control over, it really upsets me. If you go down, you can see the smiles on some of the faces of the children who for a long time were excluded or on the outside looking in. It's all worthwhile.
Skinny Marinka dinky dink, skinny Marinky doo, I love you.
It feels really great as a parent to see him so welcome and everybody so warm towards him. He's involved in everything. He gets support in school, and he just basically takes advantage of everything the town has to offer for kids with autism. He loves music classes because he likes to sing and he likes to dance. And I think Terry interacts very well with them. Like he gets them involved.
You like that one?
I try to keep it as simple as I can. I use the simpler children's songs.
What happened to Christopher? There he is.
And I try to come up with songs that involve the children, to get them counting or repeating stuff back to me. It's great for the ego because obviously, you know, you're the greatest person that they ever saw, and they love it. They just love it.
In an emergency situation, of course, especially the fire department or any emergency responders respond to a scene, there's a lot of noise and equipment around, trucks with lights flashing and sirens going. Kids with autism, I didn't realize before, that can be very traumatic to those kids.
I can't even hear this.
You can't hear it now. That's good, Christopher, that's good.
We centered our autism night this past April on autism and safety. Anxiety in children with autism, how to speak with them in emergency situations, how to help them cope after the aftermath of a tragic event. So this is just a template basically for the bins to be with first responders. One thing that we had to put in, thinking of the verbal skills of course, if you ask them a question and they're not responding, a simple yes and no card, and they might just touch it. A timer. You might set the timer and say, Grandma's coming to get you. She's going to be here in 30 minutes. We have the noise cancelling earphones to block out any background noise for the child, or at least lessen it somewhat. A lot of children, not all, but a lot of children on the spectrum like lights. And it helps to engage them, draw their attention. The lights light up. They feel a little vibration in their hand, and some of them like that as well. We also have some tactile fidgets in here, just something to busy their hands when they're nervous. And of course, with the blanket, it's also very handy. It might just be something soft to snuggle and make them feel comfortable and remind them of being home and being comfortable, right? And if they're cold or they're tired, it's only a blanket, but it has so many uses to a child with autism. When you're a mom of a child on the spectrum and you think about the possibility of an emergency situation, it's terrifying. It's really hard to, turn it off. So when you have people in your community that are willing to learn, it means a lot. It's so easy to think that no one would ever have your back. And when you're an autism mom, it feels like that a lot. It feels very lonely in times. And then when you can have strangers care and want to learn, your heart is ready to burst. It's so fantastic.
It's so exciting to have the town designated as the first autism-friendly town. It's a reflection on the people of the town, the citizens. Without the citizens and the way that they are towards autism and their attitude, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. And I think there are so many other towns and cities that could easily be designated as the same.
Channel Port Basques may be the leader of this right now. We may be the first, but just hopefully this continues to grow, because that's what it's all about, to be leaders of the province and leaders of the country, it seems.
You don't have to throw millions of dollars at a program. You don't have to build anything. All you have to do is open your mind, ask questions, be open to making small changes and accommodations.
If you have autism, it's just really fun things to do. There's a lot, and your life would have been more better.
The autism is just so pleasurable to work with. Each child is their own puzzle because each child has their own challenges, but they also have such great abilities to do in certain areas.
I would never consider leaving Port Basques now. It's golden. You wouldn't leave it.